hope you understand. He was born a rambling man.
It's me, it's TRG, the Rambling Gambler, just trying to make a living and doing the best I can, and it is launch week. Welcome to another launch week edition of our Casino Combat podcast. We are crushing it, everybody. We really are. We have accomplished more already in just a few days of launch week than I really thought was possible to accomplish, and I can't say thank you enough. I can't say how amazing it is that everybody's been out there helping. We really are doing a great job. 2 segments again today, as promised. First up, we are going to start off with a moment of casino wisdom. I had a casino wisdom impact in my life recently. I've made a few changes to my gambling, just a few tweaks. So we're going to do a moment of casino wisdom, and I'm going to share that wisdom and that impact with you. And then we'll jump into mission control. I'll give you a little bit more of an update on what's been going on behind the scenes and give you the new mission for today and lay out how the rest of things are going to go. So let's get started with a moment of casino wisdom. The main idea behind casino wisdoms is to give a short phrase, a short word that kind of reminds us of the bigger lesson. You know, I always go back to if you and I are in a conversation about something and I say to you, well, people in glass houses, you know that. Most people in Western culture, in Western civilization, get that that's a Bible verse. They know what that scripture is. They've got a sense of what that parable was and what it was teaching. You don't have to lay out the whole thing. You don't have to finish up the sentence. You can just kind of drop that idea or that phrase and carry the bigger idea. And that's what casino wisdoms are supposed to do for us. Let me tell you the story about the lesson to get to the lesson. I don't know. Let me give you the story. Let me give you the background. I've tweaked my gambling a little bit, just in a tiny way to try to be more efficient, to try to do a little more bankroll protection without changing the bookkeeping. So here's what I used to do. Through all of the podcast, this is what I've done. And if you look at it and go, well, that's dumb. Well, it probably isn't the first time someone's thought that about something I've said or done. That's okay. Throughout all the podcast, I had in air quotes, and I'm making them in the air, the bankroll, which is to say money in the safe, money in a bank account, money in my pocket, money in Mrs. TRG's purse that was set aside for gambling or the process of gambling. And that the process of gambling meant if I needed to tip somebody, if I needed to buy something that was gambling related, it came out of that money. It didn't come out of my money, which is to say my personal non-bankroll money. It didn't go on a debit card against my personal bank account. It just came out of that, quote, bankroll of money. And that's all accounted for, right? Because in the app, in Track, I have a record of everything won, everything lost, everything received, everything spent. So it all balances out on an after expenses basis at the end. But if you take a few losses and you've been spending money on things, the amount of money I had personally then to gamble with had decreased. And so I decided I wanted to be a little more accurate with that. I wanted to track it the same way. I still want to record gambling expenses as expenses against wins when they happen. I still want to do bookkeeping the same way, but I wanted to keep the money available specifically to make wagers as consistent as possible. As I said, small little tweak. It's a subtle little tweak, and if I'm not explaining it well, then that's on me as the speaker, not on you as the listener. It's a small little tweak. It's the idea that keeping in my vest pocket the bankroll, the money to be wagered and only to be wagered, and keeping in my other pocket the money that, well, it would have been, I would have spent at lunch at Subway just on a work day, or I would have put in a vending machine to get a bottle of water at a client site, or I would have used my debit. Like, keep the money spent separate from the money wagered, so that the amount of money wagered isn't impacted by the money spent to make the wager on other ancillary things. Trying to insulate the bankroll just a little bit, be a little more diligent about that. And it is purely a procedural change. That's the word I'm looking for. Purely a procedural change. So I now kind of walk around the world, walk around the casino with spending money in one pocket and wagering money in another pocket. And when I tip the waitress or tip the bartender or the valet or whatever, that comes out of the spending pocket, and wagers are the only thing that come out of the wagering pocket. That's the setup. Okay, TRG, why does that matter? And how is that a moment of casino wisdom topic? Pull it all together for us, TRG. I'm absolutely going to. In the first few days of doing this, I'm still kind of sorting out the procedure. And wisdoms are supposed to be mental triggers, short little mental triggers that remind us of things that we're going to try to do in a casino as situations occur. And casino wisdom number 2 is, in all casino things, the bankroll comes first. Okay, fair enough. Well, now I've procedurally made the bankroll only for wagers. I've changed what the bankroll money is for. The bankroll money used to be for wagers and casino-related expenses. And now the bankroll is only for wagers and expense money is for expenses, and it all gets tracked together. So, I'm out at the horse track. I'm doing a little slot play. I'm getting my free gift. I'm playing my free slot play, and I end up with a ticket. And as you heard, I go to the cage, and I get my money, and I have some bills. Well, that's obviously going back in the bankroll until I decide to make a few small decisions and declare a win, right? I don't walk into the horse track and walk out with an extra $35 and go, well, I got to decide what I'm doing. No, that $35 just adds to the bankroll. The bankroll just got a little bigger. The money to be wagered just got a little larger. And if at some point there are hundreds or thousands of dollars extra in the bankroll, not in the safe, not in the bank account, not in the wagering pocket, if I declare a win and make some small choices, and then I'll pull money back out. So I get the bills, and then I get some change, less than $1. What am I going to do? So I'm walking away from the cage like, oh, this is new. You've never quite had this situation before as you've changed things up. What are you doing with the change? Well, it's not going to be practical to put that change in my vest pocket and make that part of the money to be wagered. For me personally, that's not a practical way to do this. I'm not going to start collecting change in the safe. I can't deposit change easily in the bank account. I am not going to walk around with a pocket full of change and then be the guy sitting at the bar going through a big pile of change and pulling out $1 and then putting the $1 in my spending money pocket and pulling $1 out of there and it's trivial, right? It's trivial. I'm just procedurally walking and thinking, and my brain does that. It's like, what am I going to do? And my first thought was, I'll just throw it in my pocket. Who cares? It's just change. Like, who cares? I'll throw it in the spending pocket. And then it hit me. Casino wisdom 2. In all casino situations, the bankroll comes first. I remembered that. And I went, yeah, this is a casino situation. And in all casino situations, the bankroll comes first. And I put the change in my spending money pocket and took a full $1 out of my spending money pocket and put it in my bankroll pocket. In all casino situations, the priority is the bankroll. It's trivial. It's small. The point is not, despite how long it took me to get there, the point is not where that little extra bit of money went. That is not the point at all. The point is, This shows how casino wisdoms can impact behavior. That shows how, and shameless plug, right? That shows how this book that's coming out on Tuesday can change your behavior. And maybe not on that type of thing. Maybe for you it's some other wisdom, some other situation. But the point is that casino wisdoms do work. In that moment, the phrase triggered in my head, probably because I've been buried in this book for 6 or 8 weeks, and it became instantly clear to me what action I was going to take. I was going to prioritize the bankroll, the money to be wagered, not the expense pocket, the money to be spent. Not a big deal in my life and in most people's lives to have 40 cents less in their spending money pocket. And it's probably not that big a deal on the bankroll side either, right? I'm in bad straits. A lot of bad things have happened if we're down to that last 40 cents. Not a good situation, not one I anticipate. But it's not that that's important. It's the illustration of this idea that if you know the casino wisdoms, when you come to a moment of decision, that short phrase, that wisdom will pop into your head, and then it becomes clear what you're going to do. I feel good about that. I feel good about the idea that that little casino wisdom clearly showed me what I personally, because I wrote the wisdom, but it shows me what I personally want to do in that situation. I want to prioritize in every way possible the money to be wagered, because without the money to be wagered, I'm just a tourist, and I don't ever want to go back to being just a tourist again. All right, let's head to mission control.
This Houston, contact with a test 1.
3, 2, 1.
So when I laid out this whole idea of missions and all of that and tried to set my own internal expectations, I really hoped that over the course of this whole launch process that maybe we would get to 50 or 60 missions complete. I didn't know what to expect. I had no idea. Just sitting there on a scrap of paper, it's like, well, if we managed to complete 50 or 60 missions as a squad, that'd be pretty good. Yeah, if we got to 50, I'd have to add another prize or two into the prize pool at the end of things. That'd be really good. And yeah, I'll add another tier of prizes at 100 missions, but that's 100 missions? I mean, that would be amazing. Well, we've completed 73 missions, which is to say all of you have completed 73 missions, and we're just a couple days into this. We've had 21 members of the squad participate, and there are other people participating. I know that for a fact. There are people that are outside our core group that have completed missions, but they haven't gone to the web page and completed the form and gotten a drawing ticket. And if you're hearing me and you're going, wait, what? I didn't know. Yeah, if you've been listening and it wasn't clear, if I didn't do a good job of explaining, if you've completed a mission, you can go to casinocombat.com, spell combat with a K, click on missions, and that's our mission control page, and that will show you all the available missions. And any mission you've completed, click there on that button, put in your name or your call sign, your email address. Give me a little proof of some type that you completed the mission. We want to get you drawing tickets. We want you to have an opportunity to win prizes at the end. We want to make sure that all happens. We want our mission count to be as correct as it can be. So if that wasn't clear, please feel free to jump in and do that part of things. We've completed more missions than I expected to complete, and the participation has been fabulous and wonderful. We're doing great. I hoped the minimum acceptable, the succeed or fail, right? The win or loss is if we sell 100 books in the first 24 to 48 hours. If we can sell 100 books in 24 hours, we have created velocity. We have crossed those lines that Amazon put on the floor, right? Amazon owns the math. The math says get to 100 books on day one. We think your book is significant. That's the math. They own it. We can't change it. We own the transaction if we sell 100 books in the first 24 hours. That is the definition of winning. That is when the dealer pushes chips over to match yours and you collect. That's what we're trying to do. And here's the great news. Pre-orders are 20% of that. We've got 20 books pre-ordered. If no one cancels, we are 20% of the way there, and we haven't even had the opportunity to officially sell a book yet. It's amazing. We have done a great job, and it is fabulous how much everybody has participated. We put ourselves in a good position for long-term success. Really, really amazing. Really, really well done. Kismet's a little worried that nobody bought a shirt or a hat. I told her not to worry about it. I did not necessarily expect people to buy shirts or hats yesterday. I just wanted people to be aware of it. It doesn't create velocity. It's just an FYI item, but Kismet was worried about it. So we're doing great. We just got to keep doing great. We just got to keep generating visibility. We just have to keep generating velocity. So day one was foundation, getting all of us through the process of following the author page and adding to wish list, getting some pre-orders on the books and accomplished. That was day one. Day two was trying to generate click-throughs in social media, generate social media awareness. Today, what I want to try to do, and maybe I'll tell the story. I'll think about it here for a second. Today, the idea is a whole bunch of you have a copy in your inbox. I'm hoping you read it, but you have a copy of Chapter 1 in your inbox. If you've completed any mission, you have a copy of Chapter 1 in your inbox. And if you haven't got a copy in your inbox and you did complete a mission, please let me know. Please send me an email, trg@casinocombat.com, spell combat with a K. Very important. And I'll get you a ticket for the drawing, and I'll get you a copy of the first chapter of the book. Now, what we're going to try to do today is you now have my, not that you needed my permission specifically, but you have my permission and encouragement to think about who you know that if they read the first chapter, they might be interested in the book. I'm not suggesting you blast everyone you know. Please don't do that. I'm not suggesting you spam everyone. But if there are gamblers in your email contact list, if there are gamblers in your text chains, if there are, if you're part of a craps group, right? Some of you, Nakatomi Tony's one, there are craps groups out there. If you're part of a craps group with a Discord, that would be a great example. Give them a copy of the first chapter. Make it aware, make it available to them. Sorry, fumbling my words here. Feel free to share that page with other gamblers, and then if they're interested, give them a link. It's on the website. It's in the mission briefing, but give them not only the chapter, but a link to follow me as an author to keep updated on the book, right? That's the click-through. So we're trying to accomplish a couple things. We're trying to go about click-through a different way, and then we're also trying to get people the one chapter in the hands of people that it might generate them being interested in buying the book on Tuesday. So couple different purposes here. And we're going to be really, really kind of on the honor system in terms of mission completion. If you send an email, grab a screen grab of the email before you send it. Give me an approximate count of how many emails you sent. For every email you sent, as I said, honor system, don't rig the game, right? We're not going to play that far across the line. We're not going to go all the way to Sith here on the hero crook scale. But if you tell me you sent 5 emails, we're going to send you 5 ticket entries for the drawing, right? If you tell me you put it up on a group Discord for people to download and you think there are 20 people in the Discord today, I'm going to send you 20 tickets, and if I run out of tickets, I guess I'll buy more tickets. That's okay. That's a problem I'd be more than willing to have. So that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to distribute the book wisely, the first chapter of the book, the PDF, wisely to people that might want to look at it. We're going to ask them to take a look, and we're going to ask them if they'd be willing to then click over and follow the author page. If they do the other things, if they add it to a list, if they decide to buy a pre-release copy, that's great. I do want to stress, and I know you all know it, but this book is $2.99 to generate sales day one. At midnight on day one, it goes to $7.99 in electronic form. This is a purely kind of upfront one-time. I want to get the ebook into as many hands as possible. Let me mention this. I've had a couple people say, well, I'd pre-order the ebook, but I don't have a Kindle. You don't need a Kindle to use the ebook. For instance, I have an iPad. My iPad has the Kindle Reader app, and the Kindle Reader app handles ebooks from Kindle just fine. There is a Kindle Reader app for Windows. There is a Kindle Reader app for Android. There is a Kindle Reader app for iPhone. You can read Kindle books on almost any device. You do not need to own a Kindle device to read a Kindle book. You just need a device. So, if you think you know people who might be interested, if you think you have ways to creatively distribute the first chapter of the book, you don't only have my permission, you have my encouragement. Let's get the book out there that way to people. Let's let them take a look at chapter 1. How am I doing on time? We're good on time. Let me tell you the story. I'm pulling this together yesterday, right? I'm pulling the mission list. I'm looking at what I'm supposed to do today, and it hits me like a freight train. I sent out all these chapters of the first chapter of the book, and I didn't hear anything back. And I thought, okay, well, now I'm asking people to send this out to friends and family. I'm asking them to distribute it. And what if they're all sitting out there having read this chapter and gone, oh, yuck, this is horrible. I mean, what if I've got Midnight Diver making this generous offer to his followers, to his friends, and saying that, you know, he'll provide them with a copy of the book on the first day if they're interested. And what if he's sitting there having said that and then looking at this chapter going, oh, this is horrible. What did he do? What am I putting my... And so I sent a message to Nakatomi Tony, and I was like, did you read the first chapter? Like, nobody's saying anything. Is it horrible? Like, am I about to make a fool of myself? And what he told me was reassuring. He told me that it carries my voice, that the book sounds like me, that it belongs in the Casino Combat Galaxy. I don't know if that means it's good or bad, but I know that means a lot of you like what I say, which means in theory, if the book carries my voice, you will like what you read. And that really kind of flipped the switch for me. That kind of really put me back on the rails a little bit. It kind of puts me where I always end and where we'll end today. If the book has my voice and the book fits in the galaxy, that puts us at, this book is our book. All right. Love it, hate it, it don't matter. This is our book.